if people don't know me, I am Matilda. I am the video manager for StyldLife, and I'm just going to interview Oasis today. I'm interviewing a lot of stylists on StyldLife so that you can get to know them and see who would suit you the best once you go online and you want to book with them. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. In lockdown?
Are you guys locked down?
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, we can only go out once, twice a day. But are you locked down as well?
So Florida's a little different. We went under a safer at home for about 2 weeks, but that didn't mean that everything was closed. It just meant that
Oh wow.
they you can't go to the beaches. And they said if you are a business that's on this, what do they call it? Unessential list, but
Yeah.
you can figure way to run your business, and stick with the guidelines, you can stay open. So it hasn't been so crazy here, but I have family on the West Coast and it's been absolutely insane over there for them. So I feel bad for them.
Okay. How have you adapted to lockdown then? I guess it only happened like 2 weeks for you, did it? Did you say?
Yeah, I have two little ones. One of
Yeah.
my she's a heart patient, and so we're about a year post-op, whole year under quarantine because any germs would kill her.
Right.
Um, and so we've slowly been integrating her back into the real world in the first place. So for us, my husband works about 80 hours a week. It hasn't been that different because I'm mostly home with the kids anyways. um,
Oh, bless you.
but my neighbors and their kids, they don't, they've been not liking it so much.
Generic questions first. I just want to learn a little bit about you and talk about Style Life a little bit. What inspired you, I guess, to get into beauty?
To get into beauty, well, I started when I was 16. I got signed with my first modeling agency. And this was, I'm no spring chicken. So this was back, Kate Moss was just starting her career. This was like a long time ago. Um, and when I turned 20, I had, I'd worked a long time. I had done all that. And my agent came and she said, now you're old. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she says, well, in this business, you usually only work till you're 21. You should look into what else you can do if you want to stay in the industry. And I had a fashion photographer friend, and he had recently lost his makeup artist. He said, you got to give this a go and see, how you like it. And I loved it. It was doing makeup was like a dream come true. It was amazing. Um, and I just kind of expanded upon it. When I felt like I hit a little bit of a roadblock creatively, I joined Joe Belasco. The school at the time was #1 in the world. And I went for beauty, fashion, special effects, film, makeup, learned the Westmore theory. And from that, throughout my career, I've always had a passion for helping women, not, models and actresses, they show up and they do their job and it's a very different life. But your average woman walking down the street, like, she has questions. She wants to learn how to make herself look and feel better in, say, like 5 minutes. And I'm able to help women facilitate that for themselves. And that to me is the most gratifying.
Wow, that's so interesting. Is that why you joined Style Life then? So you could talk to those people?
Yes, because it was really hard to find them outside of what StyldLife created. I've said it many times. What she's created, I think, is exactly what women need. You see a lot of women and they go and they, search YouTube all day and they watch all these bloggers, and they're great, but it's not a personalized approach on them. And I believe that's what women need, is they need a professional to help answer their personal questions and help them get to where they want to be as far as how they look. And then that in turn helps how they feel.
I actually did have a little sneaky look at your website and your profile. You've got some amazing portfolio work. What was the most memorable thing that you've done?
The most, oh gosh, I was The last Giants campaign that I did turned out to be the most stressful and the most memorable. The producers came to me the day of our big recreation of the 70s film Animal House. Sorry, that's my little one.
That's okay.
They said they're going to need to do all these special effects. And I had read over the script and I had read over anything and I didn't see, the specifics they were saying. So it was kind of one of those jump right on board and get it done deals. And then the timeline that they gave me was, it seemed humanly impossible. And so I called my mentor and I said, he's so well known in special effects. And I said, how am I going to do this all well and fast? And he said, it's not possible. Well, for me, that's a challenge. I'm going to do it. And so we did all of our special effects for that shoot. On my website, you can see it in an hour and a half. So that was like, I think it was 5 people total that I styled. I didn't have an assistant that day. And, we had to get it done in like way under the time that it should be allowed to be done. And so I was nervous. I had a standing at the door so I could focus. And it was fun to see the end result because of the sheer terror that went into producing it.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I was actually gonna ask if you had like an ideal job, like if there was a film that you could have worked on or a company you'd love to work with.
I for a lot of years I dreamed of working, with the brands. And when I was in Utah, I'm in Florida now, but my husband was in an internship in Utah, and so I did start working with the brands there because that allows you to go in with the brand. So I was with Stella. I love Stella. Stella's amazing in the fashion world, and I really wanted to bring that to everyday women. And so I was able to work with the brand and go in and educating in the stores, educating the staff and customers that would come in and do little one-on-ones with them. And that was fantastic. And actually, that I'll get back to doing that someday. Production is, production's in my future. When you have small children, it's really hard to work, 18, 20 hours a day for months straight and be away from them that much. So I'll go back to the production eventually. But until then, I really want to educate. I really want to help people achieve their best look and answer the questions that they wouldn't normally ask someone. And they especially don't ask the girls at the beauty counters anymore. I think a lot of women feel they feel insecure, or they don't feel like they'll get the help they don't ask. And so that's kind of been my goal lately, is to really reach out any way I can, whether it's through StyldLife or working with a brand, and really, getting to women and helping them with their questions. The one thing with the lockdown is the hair. I've got roots going. All my friends are complaining about it.
StyldLife is holding a competition at the moment where the winner gets a smoky eye tutorial. What are your top 3 tips for a smoky eye?
Well, 3 tips for a smoky eye. This is what I always tell people. Number 1, you have to have a concealer or a primer on underneath to make the product stick. Number 2, you're going to need Q-tips, because I don't care who you are, a smoky eye is going to go on messy, and then you clean it up afterwards. And number 3, there's a little bit of technique, and that's what we're really here to share, is the technique of how to take your eye shape and then give it a smoky look and have it look right, because you see a lot of women that they don't know, and so we're here to walk them through it and really have fun with color. I love doing a smoky eye. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Do you have any self-care tips for people who are really struggling in lockdown at the moment, not going out the house, etc.?
Yes, as someone who spent a year in lockdown, I do. A routine. So something that, a few things that you wake up and you do every day, whether it's your exercise, your meditation, doing, some sort of beauty care. So making sure you do a face mask or a scrub, or even just putting on makeup during the day, even if you're not going to leave the house, it really helps. I have a routine where I wake up and I drink my lemon water. I have a cup of coffee, and I put the kids in my room and I at least get dressed for the day and make sure I wash my face and brush my teeth and do a little mascara is kind of my thing. You need to find a routine that you can stick to and you can easily pull off so that you don't quite feel like, just kind of glub. You don't want to feel that way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, putting makeup on today for the first time in God knows how many weeks, it feels like the day matters a lot more.
It does, and it's the strangest thing that something like chapstick and mascara can change your attitude quite literally.
It's really interesting the way that makeup helps you feel that way.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any embarrassing or funny customer stories?
I am not super big into the social media thing, like blogging, and I don't really do that. I come from an old school class of makeup artists to where we were really paid to meet with the clients and keep everything very confidential, and it's kind of that thing. And so when the lingo started coming out, I was working with Stilla at a store, and I had a mom come in. She didn't have a daughter, and she asked me if I had any baking powder. And so I said, well, you might want to go up to Publix, which is our local grocery store. And she got quite annoyed with me, and she said, no, I mean baking powder. And I said, well, but that you cook with that. And so then she had to inform me that baking powder was, for your face. And I said, well, what does it do? I was really confused. And said it bakes on your makeup. And I said, well, you don't bake makeup. I usually do that before they sell it, to process it in the little pallets. And so she informed me that she was actually talking about setting powder, but I guess all the kids call it baking now. And so I not know the lingo.
For photo shoots, what's the dynamic like on set with the photographer? Do you come on set with an idea that you want to do yourself, or does the photographer have a specific vision that you have to adhere to?
So the number one challenge and the funnest part of being a makeup artist is you usually have long conversations with the art director, with the lighting people, with the producer or the photographer before it starts. You always have a game plan. And so there's storyboards or image boards. So you get a feel for what they're looking for. Because your main job as an on-set makeup artist is to take the vision of the artistic team, which you're part of, and make it a reality. That can be really challenging because everyone kind of speaks a little bit of a different language on set. And so as a makeup artist, you need to kind of hear what they're saying and then translate that into what it means as far as the image of the person. And for me, it's the funnest challenge ever to be able to kind of hear what's in their head, and then when you put the talent, in front of the camera, have them see it. Because they've only seen it in their head up until that point.
There's a lot of men in those advertisements. Did you do makeup on them? And if so, how does men's makeup differ from women's makeup in television?
Yes. Everybody who appears on camera should and is supposed to have makeup on. I've done a lot of makeup on a lot of men, and they've said, please don't tell anyone. And I've had a lot of men say, I go and I do shoots by myself, and how do I do this? Yeah, guys wear makeup on camera, and the main thing with men is it needs to not look like makeup. So you typically, with a man, you want to make him look a little bit more defined and a little bit more rugged. And so it's not a lot of foundation. It's a very different kind of makeup than what you're going to do on a woman. You want to cover up their imperfections and sculpt them a little bit and, give them that distinguished look, but you really want your work to not be noticeable. Because nothing's worse than, a guy going home and his wife saying, I saw you on TV, had on more makeup than I do. So, you know, so my goal has always been to just make them look like better versions of themselves, just like we do women, but have it really not show. So we don't do mascara or anything like that, but you know, definitely bronzer, definitely foundation. It's all there, but it's done in such a way that it doesn't really show.
That's magic. um, so, have you ever had clients with acne, and do you have any advice for people who want to cover up their blemishes?
Yes. The majority of models and actors have acne. I was one of those. I would go and get peels and laser treatments all the time, you know, between the ages of 16 and 20, and it kind of went away after that. You wear a lot of makeup and you're under hot, sweaty lights, especially. And that has the tendency to make you break out, and you really have to take care of your skin. There's a lot of techniques that I like to teach women about how to properly cover their acne, because there's actual techniques to how you apply the makeup that'll make it disappear, and it won't really show in person as much, and it definitely won't show on camera. And those are all technical things that, you know, I learned in school and I paid a lot of money for, but I love to share with women because it's embarrassing. I was that kid with horrible skin, and it's embarrassing to even show your face in public when you're already insecure and you feel like, you know, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me, I can't cover it up, and I finally get it covered up. My mom's telling me to go wash it off because it's too much, and you know, we've all been there.
Trust me, I understand that.
Yeah, so those little techniques and tips, they're important, and I love telling them to people and showing them.
So do you have any advice to someone who wants to become a makeup artist?
Yes. Finding and going to a good school is actually a good way to start. I didn't start that way, but I had to take a break to go to school. So definitely going to school first, and you know, start working on your portfolio that you can do, even if it's having friends over and doing their makeup and taking before and after. It gives you a hands experience. And then there's a lot of what they call test for print, at least that's what they used to call it, and that's a way for you to work with other creators, kind of learn as you go and grow. Really, I mean, that's how we all start. The makeup artist industry, you know, when you get into it, especially on set, it's pretty small, and we all like to help each other, and we all like to, you know, give each other, oh, I can't do that, I'm going to call so and so and give her this job. And you know, we're a pretty small little family.
Yeah. So you've done commercials, some magazines, photo shoots, amazing stuff. Does the makeup technique differ depending on if it's moving image or printed or real life?
Yes. I have two different kits. So I have an on-set, so a video kit. The makeup's going to be a little bit different for that. And then for print, it's a little bit different. For kind of lighting, you want to do makeup a little bit different. So, you know, outdoors and sunlight is going to be a totally different makeup than, say, you know, we have our little beauty bulbs for all you now. Great. It's all different makeup, and really it's kind of you learn it and you adjust it as you go. A lot of times you're adjusting it right there in person.
That's so interesting. Oh my god, I have no idea. That's really weird. So I have a couple more questions. So this may be a strange question, but I'm actually a student filmmaker. And us student filmmakers really need some help with like makeup for actors when we put them in front of a camera. Do you have any tips for screen makeup?
Find your makeup art, like call your beauty schools and get a student makeup artist in there. And the only reason I say that is because you're going to be building that collaboration, and you're going to be learning that communication, like how to communicate with a makeup artist. A lot of producers, they don't know. Photographers typically do, because that's what they do, and their mentors will tell them. you know, I know some that they do both. There, you know, Kevin O'Quan was one of them. He was his own photographer. He was his own makeup artist, and he did everything, the lighting, everything on his set. There's quite a few others that are like that. And in that case, if you want to learn, you know, bring the talent in and apply it on them and kind of see. Uh, the most important thing I can say is foundation is 93% of the time the wrong color is what people buy for themselves. That's like a huge 93%. And so you really want to make sure your foundation disappears into your skin. And it doesn't, you know, start clotting. Or I really like Stella brand, the Lime Life brand is really good. Oh gosh, there's kind of so many others that I've used, but you really want to make sure it's professional grade so that it will last. You know, the professional grade ones are made to last for at least 8. That's just how they're formulated. The drugstore brands are made to last for about 4 hours. And then it's going to start to separate, and that's going to make, you know, it's not going to look good.
Right.
So yeah, foundation and make sure it matches good, and really, you know, start those collaborations very young and very early in the process.
Cool. I actually don't have any more questions for you. You've answered all of them, and really amazingly. This has been amazing. Thank you so much. So interesting. I hope we can do some more collaborations in the future. Do you have any closing thoughts?
You know, anyone that tries StyldLife or that's interested in it, you know, just know that we're all here for you. This is a collaboration that Julie set up. It's really a way to reach everyone that possibly has any questions, and help them, you know, grow and feel better about themselves. And, you know, we're here for you. This is a way for us to get more personalized for you.
Definitely. One-on-one, learn about beauty while you're in lockdown as well.
What perfect way to do it, you know?
Come out of lockdown and be like, yes, I can do my makeup now.
We're fabulous.
All right, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.